Díhuit, Cadw Moriarty.
Tom, I'm Bowser Fudge. Goramila. Man, your Irish is so good.
Thank you. I'm very. I think my grandfather was 1/8, so I'm 1/8 or
1/8. You're
something
1/8
like that.
of your.
But you got to
Irish
keep the keep the language going.
Yeah, I mean, fair play.
But congratulations on this. I've seen most of the show. I've just got one or two to go. Absolutely fantastic, because I've read all the Sherlock Holmes books when I was young.
Fair play.
Seen Nigel Rathbone and Jeremy Brett. And this has all the complexity of Sherlock Holmes, but all the action of Guy Ritchie. So I imagine for you guys, it must have been a blast to film.
It really was. Like, a blast is the only way to kind of go about it. It was, it was like coming into the job was pretty riotous, There's a lot of action, particularly in those first couple of episodes, particularly Guy's, and as well as having like a wealth of humour. So he balances like style, like wit so well, and I think he's just managed to mix all of that with like intrigue and the amazing scripts that Matthew has written as well. I think there's a great balance within the show, which is made it a bit of a riot to film. It has it all,
And obviously in the more recent Sherlock, we had Andrew Scott as Moriarty, and now we have you. Yeah. That sense of mischief, it seems to travel through. How much fun was it exploring that chemistry with Hero?
It was brilliant, man. Even from the off, I went into Spotlight, which is the studios here for casting and stuff, to meet Hero for a chemistry read, and I just thought, it was a big audition or whatever. I said, look, I may not get this is an amazing part, but I will just go in and be as bold as possible. And so when he responded to all that mischief in the way that Sherlock would, which is like, what are you doing? And also trying to like reach it and bounce off it and stuff. I felt so. It did feel really electric, and I left and I thought, God, I've had a great time acting with him, regardless of what happens. And then it was such a treat to actually get the call and get cast.
And one of the things that comes across from watching the show is that you all seem to love your characters. So what was it about yours in particular that you really connected with the most?
Oh man, what's not to love? I think, representing Ireland was one thing for sure. I had played a lot of characters that had come from all parts of the world, but I hadn't played many Irish, parts on such a large scale. And there's like such a sense of devilment in what he does, and a kind of a conviction, and like at that time to be an Irish person, to come into England and to attend Oxford in a place where like I don't think he would have felt himself reflected very much. He kind of said, why not? And that ethos kind of grew, and really served him. And I think there's something to be learned in that, as well as kind of like, taking your chances and going, why not?
And I haven't got to the end of it yet, and I don't want any spoilers, but if the opportunity came up to get together again and do another series of this, is that something you would go for?
Oh man, should we be so lucky, I would absolutely be there. I think it's above my pay grade to be answering questions like that. But I've had the most amazing time, like working with Joe, Natasha, Colin, Max, Hero, Zine. Like it was, I was dancing going to work. Like I loved it.
So. The question is, can you really ride a penny farthing, or did they have to get the stunt people in for that?
Man, no, it's hard work, but I grew up in Cork, like this, so not afraid of hard work. But yeah.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. It's been lovely to meet you.
Not at all. So nice to meet you, man. And
take care.
Fair play with the Irish.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, you guys.